Hey survivors, Dan here. I've been working on an upcoming tips and tricks video, and I've noticed a few nerfs and changes that weren't mentioned in any of the patch notes. So I thought I'd make a brief video detailing all the ones that I found. Let's get right into it. Okay, first up we have dart traps. Before 2.0, these would shoot 26 blocks before they'd hit the ground. After the patch, they now only shoot 11. Now they used to follow this gradual arc and then drop into the ground at 26 blocks. Now it looks like they follow the same arc, but it just magically stops at 11 blocks and doesn't hit the ground at all. I'm not sure why they nerfed this though. I can't think of any amazing uses from shooting so far that are game breaking or have any great advantage, but I couldn't find any mention of it in any patch notes. Alright, next up we have the 2-block hop. Previously you could jump on 2 blocks and avoid almost anything hitting you except for the giant bears and the zombie bears. Now it looks like all regular zombies will hit you from 2 blocks high. I have found if you move to the back of the block you can avoid them, but then they just tend to run around to the other side, so it doesn't work well. So I decided to do some testing and see how high they can hit now. First with 2 blocks with a plate block on top and they'll still hit you. Then I tried 2 blocks with a catwalk plate, which is a little thicker than regular plate, and they'll still hit you. But I found that 2 blocks with a quarter block or 0.25 block was high enough to avoid the attacks. I also found at this height they frequently try to beat on nearby blocks instead of coming after me, and it would take them a while to come around. Testing it out, I did find that you can still hit zombies with all the melee weapons, with the exception of the bone knife and the combat knife. The good news is that you can still get up top with just 1 block, or if you have parkour level 2, you can still just jump right up on top from the ground. After extensive testing, I did find that biker cops, whites, and mutated zombies can hit you if you're right on the edge. So just stay near the middle and you'll be fine. Something else I found out in testing is that they primarily attack the bottom block now instead of the second block like they used to, so you may want to upgrade the bottom one first. As for the giant bears and the zombie bears, you used to be able to stand on 2.5 blocks and be totally safe. But after the 2.0 patch, I found that the lowest you could stand on without getting hit is 2 3/4 blocks, which is a pain, because you can't jump up on this with 1 block, and with parkour level 2, you can't jump from the ground level either. You could put a little ladder on the side and pick it up, but it's just more of a pain than it used to be in the past. This one's definitely not feasible on the fly, but if you see a zombie bear not far off and aren't well armed, you can still do this to take it out safely, but it's going to require some preparation. I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of the Fun Police nerfing standing on blocks. I've never seen this one as an exploit. It's just using your brain versus zombies. If you can use the terrain or build fortifications to your advantage, why wouldn't you? Isn't that what base building's supposed to be all about? If you're going to raid some building with zombies, wouldn't you want to have a fallback position? You going to go toe-to-toe with the giant zombie bear and not have a game plan? I mean, this is not an infinite dropper or a force field that lets you exploit the game. It's a couple of blocks to stand on. It'll buy you 30 to 60 seconds, and then this bear's going to be in your face. Okay, next nerf is you can no longer circle strafe birds. Here's a little clip of what was going to be included in my upcoming tips and tricks video. Oh, hello there. Just chilling with my pet bird here. Did you know that you can circle strafe birds? When they fly towards you, strafe to the left or right. When you get tired of looking at their ugly faces, be sure to hit or stab them with something. Yeah, that doesn't work anymore. So here's me trying it in 2.0 and immediately getting hit. Now there was no mention of strafing vultures in any of the patches, but I did find this. Decrease vulture battle fatigue, max time, and increase cooldown min time. No idea what that means, but it may be related. I don't really have an issue with them fixing this. It was pretty cheesy that you could just circle strafe a swarm of these forever. Okay, next up, I was also going to show where to find super corn for my tips video, and found that it's no longer in the stash at the NDC checkpoint number 3. Before 2.0, it was in this box every time. Now the box is not even lootable. Now if you were playing a random map, you'd never know where this place was, but if you happen to come across it while you're driving around, it was always nice to know you could stop in and pick it up. Okay, the next few aren't really nerfs, but they're things that have been changed without them mentioning it in the patch notes. You may have noticed that Stumps can sometimes spawn bees now, which I found at low level with a wooden club can take several swings and they can actually be quite dangerous. Another thing I found is that the bees can actually give you an infection, which is just fantastic if you know you already have an infection and you're out hunting for stumps, hoping you find a honey before your infection gets past 5%. Next up, shooting guns underwater. If you ever saw this video, I tested all the different weapons underwater and found that regular bows wouldn't work underwater and all firearms wouldn't work underwater. Only the crossbow and compound crossbow would work. As of 2.0, all weapons now work underwater. No reduced range, reduced damage, or increased bullet drop, or anything. It's like the water's not even there. I did place a bug report like 3 weeks ago, but I've heard nothing back. So I'm guessing they just want to keep it this way. Alright, next up we have feral burnt zombies. They can now light you on fire. Not the regular ones, the feral ones. In version 1.4, this was not the case. You could get beat on these all day and never catch fire. So make sure you keep a drink handy to put yourself out. Alright, this next one is actually positive. I don't know why they didn't brag about it. They stealth fixed something and didn't mention it in the patch notes. In the past, cops and screamers would see right through many of the solid blocks and aggro on you even though they didn't have line of sight. Well, in 2.0 they actually fix this now, and any solid block will block line of sight even if it's a thin sheet. As you can see, as long as you're not making noise, she's not going to aggro on you unless she sees you. This is a nice change, as before you needed to use thick blocks to block line of sight. Now you can go with some really thin blocks if you like. Okay, those were all the nerfs and changes that I noticed that weren't in the patch notes. If you noticed some other ones that I missed, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I do have a new tips and tricks video coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. And if you haven't seen any of my base builds, I will link them here at the end. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.